plane crash in a San Diego neighborhood, with at least 6 fatalities reported. Through the exact death toll has not been confirmed. A Cessna 550 has crashed into the residential area, causing massive destruction. Debris from the wreckage hit at least 10 homes, while vehicles lining the street were engulfed in flames. The crash, which occurred in a neighborhood home to military families, sent burning jet fuel across the area. San Diego Fire Department Assistant Chief Dan Eddy reported that one house had been severely damaged, but fortunately no one on the ground suffered serious injuries. Authorities are still working to determine the full scope of this incident. Let's listen into what he has said further.
It's accurate that multiple people believe we have multiple fatalities. From what we've found so far on scene, we do believe we have multiple fatalities, but we're going to have to go through and take our time and ensure that exactly what we have.
Neighbors made a harrowing escape from flames early Thursday after a plane crashed into the Murphy Canyon military housing community. Residents rushed door to door. Local officials praised the community's swift response during the crisis. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. Let us listen in to what the public information officer from the emergency services had to say.
Entonces, poquito antes de las 4 de la mañana fue cuando recibimos la llamada de lo que ocurrió aquí. Entonces, al llegar los bomberos, los rescatistas encontraron el impacto aquí de la avioneta en la casa y en varios vehículos aquí por la calle. Estaban todos en fuego, las llamas y el olor al combustible, como estás viendo ahorita.
The crash, which tragically claimed the lives of the music talent agent and several others on the flight, sent shockwaves through the neighborhood of U.S. Navy-owned housing. The impact caused a home to burst into flames, with half a dozen vehicles also igniting. Let's listen to a resident's account of what happened that night.
Yeah, at first I thought, I wasn't sure. The initial one, I'm like, is there a bomb? Something happened, and then there was one initially, and I'm like, is that a gunshot? And then once it just started happening one after another, there was about maybe 4 to 5 when I was upstairs. And by the time I came down here, I wasn't keeping count. You were just hearing random explosions. And now that I see, it was the cars exploding. So.
Now we move on to the Middle East. Iranian and U.S. negotiators will meet in Rome today for the 5th round of nuclear talks, the highest level of contact since the U.S. withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal under President Donald Trump. The discussions follow a public disagreement over Tehran's uranium enrichment levels. Iran's top diplomat Araghchi said yesterday that deep divisions remain with the U.S. ahead of nuclear talks, warning no agreement is possible if Washington demands Iran halt uranium enrichment. Let's listen in to what Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said.
هنوز اختلافات بنیانی بین ما وجود داره. طرف آمریکایی همونطور که خودشون گفتن در مصاحبات و گفته‌هاشون اصولاً به غنیسازی در ایران اعتقادی ندارن و معتقدن که غنیسازی باید به طور کامل متوقف بشه.
Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, speaking to reporters in a briefing, said the two leaders, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, discussed progress in a potential Iran nuclear deal during a productive White House call. Listen to what White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt has said.
The President spoke to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. They had a productive discussion. They discussed many things, including, of course, the tragic shooting that took place here in Washington, D.C. last night. But they also did talk about a potential deal with Iran, which the President believes is moving along in the right direction. And as the President told me, and he's told all of you, this deal with Iran could end in 2 ways. It could end in a very positive diplomatic solution, or it could end in a very negative situation for Iran. So that's why these talks are taking place later this week.
The U.S. represented by Envoy Steve Witkoff insisted it could not authorize even 1% enrichment, a stance Iran calls a red line under its non-proliferation treaty rights. Iran seeks sanctions relief to ease its battered economy and insists enrichment will continue. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi warned that no deal is possible if the U.S. demands a halt to enrichment, but expressed openness to more inspections. Iran currently enriches uranium to 60%, far above the 2015 Accord's 3.67% cap, but below weapons grade levels. The talks precede a June International Atomic Energy Agency meeting and come amid concerns of possible Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. European signatories warn of snapback sanctions if Iran violates the deal, a move Tehran said could escalate tensions irreversibly.